If you had your druthers, would you have said, let's take smaller bites that are more palatable to the American people?
My druthers is whatever the president wants.
We spend 1.5 times more per person on health care.
Once President Obama made the decision to go forward with a massive overhaul of health care, his chief of staff started selling the plan. According to senior White House advisors, health care reform would have died long ago had RHAM EMANUEL not worked the phones and prowled the halls of the Capitol, pushing for support.
Many people have suggested that spending all this time on health care reform while the economy was in such bad shape was a big mistake.
The president's working on the economy every day. It's not an either-or choice.
But that wasn't the impression a lot of people had, and you know that.
No, I understand that. What is basically the most fiscally dangerous part of the American economic system, both its budget, what it affects families, small businesses, is healthcare costs.
Are you concerned that pushing healthcare legislation through Congress without any bipartisan support is going to leave a bad taste in voters' mouths?
The process does not trump the product. And if we get pre-existing conditions banned as a discriminatory process, if we get people who are uninsured health care that they never had, get senior citizens complete coverage of their prescription drugs.
If you do all those things, will the opposition fade?
Yes, I absolutely believe that, because people will see the immediate benefit. Right now, it's kind of out there. It's not touching their lives.
The bruising fight over health care contributed to President Obama's sinking approval ratings. And polls show a vast majority of Americans think Washington is dysfunctional.
Do you think Washington is working?
Yeah.
So you don't
No, I don't. I really
believe
don't.
this whole premise that Washington is broken?
Look, Washington can deal with these issues. If you didn't think it could, you wouldn't get out of bed at 5 in the morning to go attack the day. I fundamentally believe America's set up to deal with this.
Why do you think the impression, though, around the country, and every news magazine you pick up, it says Washington is broken. Why can't Washington get anything done? So are you saying this isn't real?
Let me say this. You can get bipartisanship to get certain things done. Sometimes you will have differences, and that's not a negative. Just because there's politics or principle difference doesn't mean it's a negative. It means we have fundamental philosophical policy differences. That's what elections are about. That's what governing is about.
But what if they get in the way of progress or actually getting something done?
Katie, then there's legitimate criticism, but that's not the total picture.
The total picture, he insists, includes several bills that had bipartisan support. Just this past week, the president signed a $17 billion jobs package that had the backing of 11 Republican senators.
What I do is every day I start the day with a to-do list.
RHAM EMANUEL believes his job as the White House chief of staff is to put ideas into action.
So how often do you go into the Oval Office on a daily basis?
I've never counted, but, you know, more than 8, less than 15.
But every day you meet with him first thing in the morning when he gets in?
He walks in, I'll head down. We do about 3 minutes or 4 minutes. And then at the end of the day, we'll have a, see, even, stay away, stay away. There's the schedule. And I'll see him. At the end of the day, we do this thing called wrap-up.
Have you ever said to the president, I think you're wrong?
I wouldn't, not in those words, but what you do as chief of staff, and I would only do it in privacy, is you got to look, you know, there's another perspective here. Or have you, you know, when you're looking at this, you need to weigh these equities.
But you certainly have strong feelings about certain things. Have you ever gotten into an argument with him and said, listen, I really think you should do X, Y, or Z?
Well, obviously I do have strong opinions, so it's not a hidden fact, okay? But the way I don't, you know, say, Mr. President, you're wrong.
No, but can you try to convince him?
Yeah, I mean, one of his great strengths is, I mean, this is not a president. If you were a yes person, oh, I think he'd turn you off.